Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello and welcome into the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. I'm Ben Droz, one of the sports writers at the Daily Nebraskan, and I'm joined here, like every Tuesday night, by the senior sports editor, Joseph Meyer. Joseph, how are you doing on this beautiful Tuesday night?
I'm doing well. Great weather today.
Oh, yeah. No coat for me.
Wearing shorts at 11 p.m. Great feeling. Just got finished with a intramural basketball game, put up a mind-boggling 6 points and 6 rebounds.
You're a dominant force.
Yeah, I never played competitive organized basketball after probably 6th grade, but I'd say it's pretty solid.
Oh, yeah. No, way better than I could do because I'm like, 5'6".
Well, my height doesn't get me anywhere.
You're taller than me.
Yeah, but you got to be able to knock down a shot at some point.
Well, I mean, yeah, that is the name of the game when it comes to basketball is, being able to put the ball in the hoop.
Well, that's why I don't do that.
See,
I pass.
Back in the day, I was just like, a menace on the defensive end. So
he was Donovan Clean. I'm the Zach Edey of 6'1" guys.
Oh man. Oh, well, we got a good show on tap tonight. We're going to start it off with some Husker spring.
So thankfully, my 9:30 class was canceled today.
My 9:30 class today was canceled too.
Let's go.
We're not in the same class.
We're not in the same class.
So this is a very odd coincidence.
So yeah, I don't have class this week, which is nice because normally I can't go to these morning open practices and press conferences for spring football, which is actually I've never been to one because last year it didn't work out either with my schedule. But can we have justice for people that want to go to spring football practices? Let's stop. No more classes in the morning. How about that?
Yeah.
Spring classes have to start after 12 p.m.
Then again,
in our major.
I don't want night classes either.
That's true.
Because I have a class from 6 to 8 on Thursday nights.
That sounds terrible.
And it's bad.
6 to 8.
I would rather have a morning class than that, but that's the only time it's available. So
the only time my class was available 9:30, and spring practice is at 9 or 9:30 or somewhere around there.
I have a class at 8:30 next semester, Joseph. So don't even get me started.
So you'll probably not be making it to any of those morning media availabilities,
bro. I don't even know if I'm going to be making it to class. We might be doing a show. Our show's not going to get done until midnight, and I have to be up at 8 for my 8:30 class.
There you go. Well, anyway, so I got to make it today. Finally.
Yep.
I missed the pro day because I was in Memphis. I missed last week because I had class. So first open practice, and it was a really fun experience. I'm not going to lie to you. They ran some live scrimmage for about 15, 20 minutes from the time that they, let us go in there. Had each of the quarterbacks run through with a pretty similar set of receivers, a little bit of a different grouping of offensive linemen. And the biggest story of the day, which I was not expecting going into this, because I think a lot of the narrative has been around, okay, you got Harburg, who's been there. You got Raiola, who is already being crowned as the next guy up.
Yep.
But Danny Galen threw some beautiful balls this morning. Now, I get it. It's spring practice, and we saw about 10, not even 10 minutes of him in live action. We saw about 3, maybe 4 throws.
But it was enough.
He made 2 in specific that were just beautiful spirals down the right sideline, dropped it in the bucket to his receiver. And I'm going to be honest, I wasn't expecting to see that out of him today. He had more time than Raiola did. Raiola had some the offensive line kind of broke down for him pretty quickly on the live reps that we saw. So he moved around a little bit, overthrew a couple guys, threw into coverage and almost got picked off. It was dropped, which I'll touch on later, but is going to be a big emphasis for the defensive backs room this season. So nothing too impressive from Raiola. We know he can do, but I was really impressed with Danny, and a lot of people were there too. That was kind of the narrative of the day, is like, oh, he can actually throw it. I want to get your thoughts on this, because after seeing today, and again, I don't want to overreact to 5 throws, which I think
it seems like you are, though.
I think I am, but I kind of already had. We've discussed this, and I kind of already had this thought going into the season. What do you think? Matt Rule is not going to give us a top 3 guys. Like, he is not going to give us his pecking order.
He kind of did that last year, and I feel like it got him in a little bit of trouble.
I think it did,
because he was saying that Brock Purdy was his number 2 early on, and then he had the injury, and
so
that.
Yeah. We're not going to get a 1, 2, 3 until maybe not even the first game. We don't really know. I think that Raiola will be the starter.
Yeah,
but I'm of the opinion that Harburg has dropped to the 3rd quarterback in this room.
I would be more surprised if Cowan would start, week 1, day 1. That would surprise me a lot.
Again, yeah, we've discussed this. I would have to put Raiola.
Not even that, but like if it wasn't Raiola, it would most definitely be Harburg over him. I feel like if like you had to start week 1 quarterback,
right? Because you don't want to throw out a true freshman.
Yeah,
you're
so
obviously going to go with Raiola.
But I'm saying, like, if it's between Harburg and Callahan, it'd be Harburg, and Callahan would be Harburg. But I do agree that Callahan's probably going to be number 2 on the depth chart.
Yeah. Again, it's that whole aspect of a true passer. And Harburg is just not a true passer. He's a great athlete, a fiery player. Really, I think, benefited this team last year in that little winning streak that they went on. I don't think without his fire and his physicality, they win some of those games, just because you needed that leader in there after the Sims experiment clearly failed.
Yep.
I just don't think he has the capability to keep up with these guys who are Elite 11 quarterbacks. Like Danny Kaelin and Dylan Raiola are miles ahead of where this Nebraska quarterback room was in terms of just purely passing the football. There's so many other, intangibles and the ability to read a defense, which we saw Harburg not have a great time doing last season, that I know Raiola can do, and I'm assuming Kaelin would be able to do as well. But I think I can't see a world where, let's say, God forbid, Raiola goes down, that you don't also give a chance to Kaelin. I don't know. I mean, Matt Rule is not going to answer any questions about it, so we're not going to know. So we can guess about this all summer.
Yeah.
The rest of the spring and all summer and up to that first game, we can, quander all we want.
See, one thing that does, I am curious about, because last year there was a lot of option play on the offensive end, using Harburg as a running quarterback, because that was his strength. Do you think the team's just going to is the team just going to completely have a new identity on the offensive end then? Like, is Harburg just, could you see, while Raiola is going to be the starter, could you bring in Harburg for a trick play, for something that was like that?
I'm of the opinion that he's going to be involved. I don't see a world where we know Rule likes to use everybody on the depth chart. We saw it last season, especially on the defensive side, but even on offense, dipping deep into the wide receiver room.
Having Sims do a quarterback sneak randomly.
Did
turn out.
That one didn't go so well. But he was confident in every running back on his roster, even when they started to slowly get picked off by injuries.
Yeah.
So he wants to be confident in every position in his wide receiver room and his offensive line and his quarterback room, that no matter what happens to that number 1 guy, he's confident in the ability to throw that guy out. So I would not be surprised if Harburg is used in potentially, a 2 quarterback package even.
That'd be so much fun.
His ability to, we saw plenty of trick plays and getting fullbacks involved and all that. I don't doubt Matt Rule's ability to kind of get creative. And obviously Satterfield would be the ultimate impetus of that. But Yeah, I think Harburg has a role on this team. He has a role as a leader on this team. He's been here for the past 3 years. He's seen what this quarterback room has looked like. And we talked about this last week. He has really impressed with the way that he has welcomed these 2 new guys in here and said, hey, this is our room. We're going to make each other better no matter who's on the field week 1. But I don't think you're going to need that same ability to run the football if you have a pure pocket passer back there.
Oh, yeah. The offense is going to be different than last year. Like, it just has to be. I feel like Satterfield and Rule were forced to change the offense.
Well,
into what it was. Because it was just like you
could not run it back with that same
scheme and
just complete incapability. I mean,
like we thought Adrian Martinez, like that was bad.
See, that's the thing. Like, I think Husker fans over Martinez and even at times with Casey Thompson just took it for granted.
I mean, Casey Thompson was a pretty good passer.
No, I know. Oh, he was, but I don't think people really took it because it wasn't a very good team.
Yeah.
And they lost some games they shouldn't have lost because the defense was really bad and there were injury problems clearly and coaching issues. But it was clear that there was not a pure pocket passer and they needed that last season. But regardless, I think the running back room is going to be much better.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard great things about every single guy in that room. And that's the beauty of that running back position. There isn't going to be a number 1 guy.
It's a little bit banged up, but there's a lot
right
of
now.
depth.
But there's plenty of time, and there's a lot of depth, and there's a lot of talent in there. And I would not be surprised if they mix and match and running back by committee the heck out of this thing.
Okay, going back to the quarterbacks. Okay, because last year was just a mess when it came to throwing the ball compared to, Casey Thompson. And then before that, Adrian Martinez. Then before that, it was Tanner Lee, where all he could do was throw the ball. Do you feel like if Nebraska would have had a true passing quarterback like that, like I'm not going to say Martinez because he was kind of hybrid a little, but I'm saying like, if they would have had a Casey Thompson, I don't care that he got injured last year. Like just put Casey Thompson on last year's team. Are they a bowl team? They make bowl team?
For sure.
See, there was people that were saying that like, because the wide receiver room wasn't good, Casey Thompson wouldn't be able to do as good.
But they won 5 games with that wide receiver room and quarterbacks that
couldn't
just turn the ball over way too much. And Casey Thompson wasn't perfect, but he did not throw interceptions or fumble the ball at the same clip that we saw.
We wouldn't have had success running the ball with the quarterback, but like there was running backs. Like I would have loved to see more Emmett Johnson last year instead of having to run it with Heinrich Harburg because that's just what you have to do. Because
that was one of my biggest frustrations with Satterfield at points. If you're Nebraska, just a confusion of why you don't use Emmett Johnson more, and that we'll have to see going into this year if that was a concern they had with him specifically or just the scheme.
Well, Rule talked about on post practice on Saturday that Emmett Johnson trying to get him to be more of he made some flashy plays last year, but can he be a steady starting running back for the team? Like, can he consistently do that? That was kind of Rule's challenge to Emmett Johnson, and he seemed pretty confident that he can be that. I feel like he can be too. I don't feel like he's a running back where like, he has talent, he'll flash it, but like he can't do it on a consistent level. I think that's crap. I think Emmett Johnson has a lot of talent.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Dante Dowdle, I'm really excited to see what he can do. I've heard great things from him. Obviously, with Irvin Jr. coming back, again, injuries, Ramir Johnson, injuries. But if you're Nebraska, you feel pretty confident in that running back room.
I just feel like it's depth.
Yes.
So even when the injuries do come, you're going to have
and you have a whole off season of, and this was another theme that was talked about a lot today, and I'll touch on this later with kind of what the coaches had to say. But that second, obviously last year, it was a very transitional period of getting guys to stick around during the off season, preparing them for off season training.
Yeah.
The vibe in the room that I got was they're confident that this last couple months, everybody is stronger, bigger, faster.
I mean, because
just more physical.
They had a whole year.
They had,
I mean, the turnaround from a year 1 to year 2 should be huge. Like Rule had to come in and like, okay, what am I dealing with here? What did Scott Frost leave? And he didn't leave it very well.
Yeah, and Rule has talked highly of his nutritionist and his strength conditioning.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
He
says it's top notch.
So obviously we've yet to see that this year, but last year even there was a step for sure. Just in one off season. You didn't see that always on the offensive side of the ball, but the offensive line was improved. You had physical runners at quarterback. They couldn't hold on to the ball, but they were always physical. The defense was one of the most physical teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
it clearly paid off over that offseason. That's why I'm so excited to see what another, mat drills and offseason workouts and spring ball is going to lead to physicality-wise specifically. And I think that's what's that's what, if you're Nebraska, is exciting about this running back room, is because you get some of these guys to full strength and you get them, 10 pounds stronger.
No, I'm super, Rule talked about, with recruiting, saying we have some of the best facilities in the nation. Nebraska, the way they practice is unlike many other schools. No one's standing around in practice. Rule made a big part of that in his post-practice on Saturday. We talked to the media saying no one is standing around during practice. Only other schools that do that are Georgia and Alabama. And they have pretty good programs. I'm pretty sure Georgia and Alabama.
Last time I checked.
So Rule is confident in what he's doing. And that's why I'm confident, because it's when we had Frost here, when Frost was at Nebraska, it was a lot of, there's a culture. But there wasn't. It was just all talk. You didn't see, you can see Rule building a culture.
Yeah.
You can actually visibly see it. With Scott Frost, it was just all talk. All talk. All him saying it, the media trying to push it, trying to shine a better light on the football team that's just not very good. At the end of the day, they just weren't good. Scott Frost kind of was in over his head a little bit on the job.
I really wish I would have been able to be in the room covering the 2021 season. That went 3-win teams of all time. Because
don't even get me started. No. Okay, I'm addressing that right now. I know they are not. I don't care statistically, whatever. I don't care if they're the best 3-win team of all time. I don't care.
You cannot lie and tell me that season was not, of the last 3 seasons, was not the most entertaining and exciting season to watch of Nebraska football.
I don't care. No, who cares that they're the best 3-win team of all time? Who cares?
So would you rather watch 3 wins but have an exciting season, or
I'd
5
rather
wins, still miss a bowl game and have really ugly, gross football with a lot of turnovers?
Okay, so are you comparing Scott Frost's 3-win season to Matt Rule's 5-win season this last year?
I would make the argument, and this might be a hot take, if you just look at them in a vacuum. Last season was good because it meant the program was progressing with the anticipation of this year and the years ahead. But the 2021 season was more entertaining, and I think that's a fact because there was no blowout to Michigan. There was no blowout to Ohio State. There was no blowouts suffered at all. They stayed competitive with Oklahoma.
Joseph, this isn't first take. You don't have to make.
I've said that from the beginning.
No. You don't have to bring in a take that's just different.
Maybe that's just some of my freshman year nostalgia. You weren't here on campus. You didn't get to experience the greatest 3-win season of all time. Anyway, we're getting way off track.
No. We're staying here. No, this is crap. You're saying Scott Frost's 3-win season was better than Matt Rule's 5, more exciting to exciting to watch?
Yes, I don't think that's a debate. Exciting to watch, good for the program? No.
That's my point. I don't care.
I'm saying if you're taking it in a vacuum.
I don't care if Nebraska almost beats a team like Georgia 16 times in a row. They lost every game. The team was not good. I don't care. I don't care if they were close. There's a reason they weren't winning those games, is because they're not good. That football team was not good.
I don't think 2020. I mean,
Matt Rule's
to make the argument that 2023 Nebraska was a good football team.
Matt Rule's team,
they were competitive.
Matt Rule's team was better than that 3-win team.
No, I agree. They were better.
And that's why it was more exciting, because what you're watching is actually good football. What game was it? Was it the Penn State game during that 3-win season where there was this penalty,
it wasn't
penalty after penalty? Do you know what I'm talking about, though? There was this penalty after penalty after. That's what I'm saying. It's just gross football to watch. I don't care if it comes down to the wire with Michigan State winning because we punted to the wrong side of the field. Like, how is that fun to watch? How is it fun to watch?
I'm not talking about that
Nebraska?
one. I'm talking about Ohio State.
How is it? I don't
Michigan.
care. How is it fun to watch Nebraska lose to Michigan State because we punted to the wrong side of the field? How is that fun?
Well,
that is not fun football.
If you're a Nebraska fan, it's also not fun to get blown out of the stadium by Michigan or lose to Minnesota on a game-winning field goal or lose to Maryland on a game-winning field goal.
I will agree.
Or lose to Iowa on a game-winning field goal. Or lose to Wisconsin in overtime.
I know. I get it. I will agree that the Michigan game that year was fantastic. That was a fun game to watch. Adrian Martinez fumbled the game away. But like that was a great game though. No, like that was like genuinely Nebraska actually played good in that game. Every other game was just crap. I don't care. It was
come
close.
on.
No, it was Nebraska losing because of their own idiotic nature of just not being able to win.
How did we get off on this tangent?
They didn't have a winning mentality. This team has a winning mentality, and that's why they're more fun to watch. This is a better team. It's a better team.
I agree that they're better, but last season was not. Let's not act like last season was good football. Last season was a fumble fest, an interception fest. The defense was spectacular.
It was better football than the 3-win Scott Frost team.
The defense was marginally better, but the offense was incredibly worse, and the schedule was not as hard. Anyway, we need to move on because I want to talk about the wide receivers because this is our original point. You asked me about the wide receivers and the ability to pass the ball.
We're coming back on this.
We could debate this the whole show.
Just go. No, I'm
anyway.
Done. I won the argument. We're good.
The room of wide receivers that you have this season. Yes, you weren't able to throw the ball last year because some people say it was the quarterback play. Some people say it was the wide receivers.
It was quarterback play.
Well, I mean, yes, you didn't have the talent of wide receiver that you necessarily needed, especially with all the injuries. But
still, with guys like Thomas Fedoni
but. Here's my thing. These two senior transfers, Isaiah Nair and Jamal Banks, instantly upgrade this room by a mile, in my opinion.
Yes.
Watching them today, not only are they massive, Nair is 6'3" and 215. I mean, this guy, you could mistake him for a tight end, and he's quick. And all three of the quarterbacks love to target him. Banks, he's even taller, 6'4", a little bit. He's like 205. Both are just monsters. They're experienced. They're veterans. They're seniors. They know how to catch the ball, and that is must-have for a young quarterback. Last season, you had young wide receiver and young quarterback, or at least inexperienced quarterbacks. They were all veterans, I guess, but none of them had played at a high level. But I think for Raiola, for Kalen, and even for Harburg, having these guys who are going to be wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2.
Mm-hmm.
It'll sort itself out over the season.
Yeah.
Jalen Lloyd looks like a great slot option. I mean, we know how fast he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm excited for if you're Nebraska, because not only do you have competent pocket passing, you have experienced wide receivers now, and the room has gotten a lot older and a lot more experience. And Garrett McGuire, there was a whole debate when he got hired about would he be able to command a room. I got to watch him sit there and control that wide receiver group.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Banks and Nair are literally 1.5 years younger. Like, because they're seniors and McGuire's been graduated for like 2, 3 or 4 years now. They're just a couple years older than him, or they're just a couple years younger than him. He's still strong in command. And he was barking at the entire group. He was getting on him. So, again, not a concern there. Another thing I wanted to point out, the coaching staff does not hold back.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting them to maybe hold back a little bit with the open practice thing. No. There were multiple times. There was one point where Raiola used quite a few expletives, but shouted loud enough for the whole entire training facility with like early 2000s white girl banger songs going over the speaker, by the way, which is incredible. It was hard to focus because I was jamming out. He shouted louder than the speaker, yelled at everyone, and I was like, okay, there's that intensity that offensive line group has needed, because that has been lacking.
Okay.
And that him specifically, I've loved to see where that group has gone from where he inherited it as one of the worst in in the country, slowly, meticulously building it. Remember, he was the only guy, one of the only guys that Matt Rule kept around. I believe he was the only assistant coach Matt Rule kept around. Some people said it was just for Dylan. Even if it was, that worked out.
Whatever, yeah.
But we saw improvement last year, and I'm expecting to see even more improvement this year. Evan Cooper, again, firmly critiquing, not afraid to use some colorful language when they were just doing like loose ball drills for the secondary. And then there was a point where Matt Rule yelled across the field, "Do it right, Tony," at Tony White, I assume. And just to have their guys fix the drill they were doing. So there's accountability all across the staff.
Oh, yeah.
And I really like the intensity. Again, I never got to cover the Scott Frost tenure. He got fired 3 games into my football beat coverage experience. Actually, no. Yeah, 3 games into it. So I didn't really get to see too much of his program from up close and personal like that. But from what I've heard, this is a level of accountability that Nebraska football has not had in the past.
See, one thing I like about Matt Rule is if they have a bad practice, he's going to say that at bad practice. He's not going to be like, "Oh, man, the O-line did great, and we showed a lot of energy and fight out there." Like, he's going to say if they didn't practice well. He's going to say if they had a good practice or a bad practice. Like, he's not going to lie. I hate when coaches just want to put, I don't want to say a facade, but like, just
he tells it how it is.
Wanting to make it seem better than it is. That's what I like that Matt Rule just gives it to us straight. And it's just like, and he's not afraid. He's like, "Here, looking in our practice." It's like, he's not trying to like shy away or hide anything. Like, he wants everyone to see how he's running things because he's got this program going in the right direction. But with that, we got to throw it to break. When we come back, we're going to get some NFL offseason talk going on because since the last time we talked,
it's been a lot. We haven't had a good debate about NFL in a while.
Yeah, and we'll probably go way over time on this. So we better get to break now while we can. So you're listening to the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bozin. Education is a cornerstone to building a strong, vibrant community. I voted for the historic increase in funding for education in the legislature. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Lincoln is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local business owners and understand the valuable role of education in our community. This is Carolyn Bozin, and I am asking for your vote on May 14th, paid for by Bozin for Legislature.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Mike Minner, what's up, bro?
When you look at Dylan, you're looking at quarterbacks that kind of come around once every 20 years. And this is a kid I'm looking at, I don't know how old he is, 17, 18 years old. And he is already directing things that 17, 18-year-old kids should not even know. Changing the line protection. Okay, guys, I don't know what we've been 2 weeks of practice. Come on, man. Well, we got guys in the National Football League that can't do that.
To get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time. On the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line. Here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Mike Minner, what's up, bro?
When you look at Dylan, you're looking at quarterbacks that kind of come around once every 20 years. And this is a kid I'm looking at, I don't know how old he is, 17, 18 years old. And he is already directing things that 17, 18-year-old kids should not even know. Changing the line protection. Okay, guys, I don't know what we've been 2 weeks of practice. Come on, man. Well, we got guys in the National Football League that can't do that.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one. all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa,
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
I called. You didn't return the call. Called a couple times yesterday. No, nothing.
But I did trust.
Crickets.
Hold it. I called first, and then I got this. I don't know where Sip was. If you're in the bathroom, I get he goes,
Hey, hang tight. I'm writing right now.
and I don't know. I'm like, well, why are you whispering to me? He said it just like that.
Hey, sit tight on that one. I'm writing right now.
And I'm like, what is he doing? Is he in the bathroom or what? Where are you at?
Give us the scoop on what happened there,
where
Sip?
were you when I called you? Because I did call you back.
Hang tight. Hang tight. I'm writing.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello and welcome back into the Daily Nebraskan show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Ben and Joseph still here with you.
Yes, sir.
Even after the hot debate between Matt Rule's first year and Scott Frost's greatest 3-win team of all time debate.
It's not a debate. It's a fact.
Whatever. We don't have time, Joseph. We don't have
we
time.
have some more stuff to debate. So
because NFL offseason, we haven't talked about it in a while.
We usually get into some pretty contentious topics with the NFL, which is why I'm excited for next fall, because we're going to have loads of content to discuss. But I kind of want to get your thoughts on this NFL offseason as a whole, because it's been kind of low-key wild. Like, I was expecting a lot of big names. It's not exactly I think my favorite NFL offseason of all time is like the Le'Veon Bell, the Jets, OBJ to the Browns. Like, that offseason was like...
That was so mid, though, looking back on it.
Oh, it was mid looking back, but at the time, it's like,
no.
What? Like,
yeah,
Le'Veon Bell to the Jets, it's going to change the game.
Everything was just trash.
I think, was that also... No, I think that might have been different. What year was the Antonio Brown to the Raiders one that ended up going so poorly?
That might have been the same... Was that the same one?
It could have been. I can't remember.
The same one, or maybe the year right after.
But, so it wasn't quite that in my mind. There were some other big names. I'd have to look them up. But this offseason has been a lot of big stars.
But it's kind of been like, I don't know. It hasn't been
as hyped up. I think it's because it's kind of stretched out for a long time.
I think it's because it's all running backs and everyone hates running backs.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think it's weird because
it is.
Usually when these big fantasy players change teams, it's like, because sometimes
you see the jersey swap
right. And I think a lot of times, like, really good fantasy players get hyped up a lot more than actual impact players do, like Austin Eckler, for example. But I haven't seen the hype. Now, we've been pretty removed from NFL offseason.
Oh, yeah.
Like that primetime free agency, and all of a sudden, Stephon Diggs, which a lot of people were predicting that he was going to leave. I thought he might. I didn't think they were going to move off of him. He's on the Texans now, which is insane.
I think it was 1, money, 2, personality. I think they were tired of the Stephon Diggs. I think it was time for the Stephon Diggs era.
It's clear Stephon Diggs is, I wouldn't say...
He's not Antonio Brown level.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the exact same thing.
But, like, he's kind of on...
You don't move away from two of the, like, nicest organizations. And I wouldn't say best, obviously, but, like, the Bills and the Vikings are not toxic organizations by any means.
Their fans can be a little toxic. Not Vikings.
Bills fans, but
Bills. Yeah, not Vikings.
He was in a really good situation in Minnesota and wanted to move on, which, looking back, worked out very well for them. Guess what pick they traded that for? Yep, Justin Jefferson. What do you know? You can't grade it looking back.
He might leave too, though.
Oh no, he'll stay. He'll stay once
Kirk Cousins isn't there.
Once JJ McCarthy's wearing purple and gold and throwing to him. He's sticking around.
We got a text on text line says Buffalo is dead. Houston is a contender now. I agree. I don't know. See,
You have a personal bias towards Buffalo because for some reason you hate Josh Allen. You think he's the worst thing to ever happen to football.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're over exaggerating.
You think Josh Allen is a 37th best quarterback in the league, right?
I never said that one time ever.
That's the way you talk about him.
Josh Allen is a top 3 NFL running back. But
did you say running back?
Quarterback. My bad.
That's what you think of him. That's what you think of him. You think of him as a running back. So you subconsciously call him a running back.
My inner.
You hate Josh Allen.
That was my inner. Okay, my bad. Same texter just said no. Josh Allen is a head case. I don't know about that. I don't know. That's a little.
But he's no Tua, right? You're glorious king Tua.
Okay, no.
Who's 10 times better than Josh Allen ever will be.
Okay, no, you're just saying stuff now. I never said these things. Okay, no, Josh Allen is a top 3 quarterback in the league. I feel like top quarterbacks is he even top 3? I mean, Patrick Mahomes is 1. I still think Joe Burrow is a top 3 quarterback. I don't care what anyone says. If I was picking a team, I'd rather have Joe Burrow than Josh Allen.
It's fair. I think you got to put Lamar up there at this point.
Is Lamar above Josh Allen? I'd say so.
Similar playoff success, but Lamar has 2 MVPs.
And he hasn't had Stephon Diggs throw 2.
No.
In an injury.
I'm really excited to see what Josh Allen can do without Diggs. Because remember, when they traded for Diggs, that was the moment that really leveled up Josh Allen's play. But yeah, the Texans, dude, I mean, what a rebuild. This is one of the crazy. This is actually one of the craziest rebuilds ever because the Texans have never been good. Their best years are Matt Schaub, JJ Watt years.
I mean, they blew a 21-point lead to the Chiefs the one year. That's probably the best Houston football's ever been.
Yeah. There was a couple years with Deshaun Watson, but I never felt like that was a real contender. The Texans are the 3rd highest odds to win the AFC.
That's actually so crazy. I didn't know it was that high.
In 1 year.
So it's Chiefs. What?
Chiefs, Ravens, Texans.
How are they? Okay, that's very
because they won a playoff game with all rookies without and Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs are added in there.
Same texter said, Ben, he's a head case. He throws 1 pick in the red zone and it's over. No, I agree. Josh Allen is way too turnover
Josh
prone.
Allen.
He's way too turnover prone. That's why he won't. He actually had a really good playoffs this last year. He actually had a really good playoffs this last year. But in the past, he has been very turnover prone. A lot of the reason, the year the Dolphins lost to the Bills because 7th round pick Skylar Thompson was playing, the Bills barely won that game was because Josh Allen turned the ball over 3 times that game.
Because Skylar Thompson is just better than Tua.
What?
Just kidding.
No. See, if Dolphins had Tua that year, okay, I'm still so mad about that year. But no, Texans, no, it's going to be so fun. I can't wait. I'm a huge fantasy person. I'm excited. Actually, I'm excited to draft CJ Stroud, but bro, am I excited about this wide receiver room for fantasy wise for Houston? Obviously, this is one of the best wide receiver rooms in the league. Stephon Diggs, they have Nico Collins, Tank Dell, tight end Dalton Schultz, pretty good. They have a pretty good wide receiver room.
Yeah, I'd say it's up there. I wouldn't say it's the best, but
no. But from fantasy perspective, I know CJ Stroud's great and this team throws the ball a lot. Are all those guys going to get enough?
Tank Dell was pretty solid while he was. You're grading him on the rookie scale because you draft him low. So
the one thing though about Stephon Diggs is he's not really a target hog though. He never was a guy that
he's never been a 1st round wide receiver guy. Has he ever been? I'm trying to think back to. Maybe some of the Vikings years.
He is. He's a bottom. He's a wide receiver 1 in fantasy football.
Right.
He's not but that's because you'll have games where he'll score 35, but then you have a game where he scores 8 because he only got 5 targets.
Yeah. I'm excited to go through. We'll have to go through and do an episode before the fall of just where we ranked all these guys fantasy wise as well.
No, because it's going to be so much fun. But no, football wise, this Texans team is going to be so good.
I'm
excited. I like the Texans.
CJ Stroud. This has been one of my biggest things that I'm proud of my takes on because I recognize that I had an anti-CJ Stroud bias as growing up as a Michigan guy. And still, I was like, I kind of like him. I never, like, when I grew up watching, like, the Dwayne Haskins and the JT Barrett years, it was just like, oh, it's those Ohio State Buckeyes, like, just again and again and again. And they're just so frustrating. Never really felt like
Justin Fields?
Even Justin Fields, I never felt like, okay, this is like.
Is this why you hate Justin Fields so much?
No. I don't hate Justin Fields. I just don't think he's
no. You do a little bit.
I don't think he's a better. Okay, actually,
I'm a bad texter.
He's a better quarterback than Russell Wilson. I just don't think he will start. That was the debate that we had, I believe. Anyway,
okay, whatever.
Yes, I hate Justin Fields.
We can't get into that.
You hate Josh Allen, but Josh Allen's way better than Justin Fields, so I win that one. Anyway,
is he?
I always was like, okay, CJ Stroud never got it done against Michigan, but he doesn't get the credit he deserves because he is legitimately that field goal kick against Georgia in the 2020, I guess it was 2022, 2023 season from winning the national championship. They win the national championship against TCU, and I think they would have blown TCU out.
Yeah.
So then you're like, okay, so he never got it done against Michigan, never won a playoff game.
Michigan was Michigan.
Michigan was on their best run in a long, long time. And Georgia was kings of college football.
Yes.
And so he went up against some incredible defenses and still played very well. I was so excited about him coming into the league. I said he was my quarterback one by far, and that has played out for me. And so, I'm happy about that take.
What do you remember the pre-draft stuff of, like, there's this IQ test, or I don't know if it's the IQ test, but like there's this test that quarterbacks take.
That
it's like,
happens every year.
I know.
It's so
and
dumb.
Everyone was,
I
like,
swear it's like whoever does
Stroud,
bad on it ends up being better.
I know. And it's CJ Stroud had like a bad grade, and there's people like then talking down on him. It's just like, I mean, physical, like, just like how the quarterbacks were built. Obviously, Anthony Richardson was like he looks like,
and the verdict's still out on. I mean, the verdict's still out on all these guys.
But like CJ Stroud was like, I feel like he was the most talent. He has the most talent out of all of them, even going into the draft. I never really got the Bryce Young. I never really got it. I just saw an undersized quarterback that wasn't like. That was just gonna get drafted to a Panthers team that wasn't good, and he can't play make.
It's so hard to grade Alabama quarterbacks, dude.
Okay, bro, I love Tua, but like the Alabama quarterbacks, they just haven't. Like, they're
because
not.
You think I'm gonna be honest? I wanted Tua for the Chargers. Like we were like, okay, maybe the Dolphins will take Herbert, and then Tua will drop to 6, and we'll get him, and he's just this awesome guy and great leadership and. Such a good thrower of the deep ball. And then I'm like, but he played at Alabama with all those great wide receivers, with the great talent around him, and Nick Saban as coach. You might have to grade him on a different scale. And yeah, I think Bryce Young's still going to have a solid career. He really got unlucky because he went to the Panthers, which is he? The Panthers, they had a 1-year rental as a head coach.
This is giving me Sam Darnold vibes. That's what this is giving me.
I think Sam Darnold got screwed over by being a Jet.
He did. No, I'm not saying this is all Bryce Young.
No,
I'm not
I
saying
agree.
that. But I'm saying he isn't a guy where I feel like you could put him in any situation and he'll be good. And like, I feel like CJ Stroud, if you put him on this Panthers team, he still like.
They wouldn't have won a playoff game, but
they would have still he would have still shown the talent. Bryce Young needs to be put in a good situation and he'll perform.
Well, that's such the weird thing because the Texans organization has historically been pretty terrible. I mean, you look at some of the years.
They just gotten lucky. I mean, I got to be honest. They got lucky in their coach.
I think Nick Caserio has done an incredible job as GM. But you look at they go back to back to back, firing head coaches 3 straight years.
Yep,
new head coaches, but they hit last year.
That's what I'm saying. They got
and the
lucky.
GM hit. I mean, to trade up and get the best defensive player and now looks like the best offensive player in the same draft.
Yeah.
What a move. And it's got to feel good for if you're a Texans fan. The hype might be a little too high. Again, we saw the Jaguars get a little too hyped up this last season because everyone was like, oh, this is the year that Trevor Lawrence steps up and is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And they disappointed. But I think CJ Stroud's better than Trevor Lawrence, to completely honest. And
yeah,
I think he's only going to improve.
Nick, see, the thing about this though is I just feel like they got lucky. Nick Caserio, his job was on the line, and he just happened to hit on a bunch of these. Like I just love how like the view of some coaches and owners and GMs and stuff can just be like turned around after just 1 year. Like I don't know, it's a little crazy to me. But we have to throw it to break. When we come back, we're gonna get some Husker baseball talk going on because
Lost to Kansas tonight.
Yes, played Kansas, lost.
Another midweek loss.
So what been a little bit, I don't want to say a bad stretch, but like 2-3 over the last 5, correct? So it's been a little rough.
Yep.
We're going to touch on that more right here on the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Old School with DP and J.
So I knew that it was a crapshoot with the grown-up professionals at the highest level. Who's going to bet? I don't know whether the starting center's girlfriend broke up with him, whether his parents have groceries that week. I don't know whether his roommate and him had a fight. So why would I want to bet on that?
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
School tells you all about the 4 seasons: spring, summer, and so on. And then there's a way we really tell what time of year it is. Sports seasons: football season, baseball season, or even off season. Well, what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now, of course. And now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season, y'all. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolatseason.com. See you there.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
I think about all the infrastructure that got built up behind the scenes by Coach Osborne, that Coach Solich took over. And then some of that infrastructure was eroded. Matt Rule still has to prove this, but I think Matt Rule's style is that, yeah, he'd like the infrastructure in place, but I think Matt Rule has the personality to do everything in his power to bend it to the way he wants it.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. One last quick segment. We're still here with you, Joseph Meyer and Ben Drozd. Nebraska baseball has been the talk of the town lately, as they've they're ranked. They've had a really strong season.
Basketball's done.
Basketball's over. It's time for spring sports. Finally, it felt like winter sports lasted until April, which
I'm not
did.
I'm not even like ready for spring sports still.
Exactly, and their season's halfway over. So, but it's been a little bit of a rough week for the Huskers. So they lost to Creighton on that 10-game winning streak. Lost to Creighton in Omaha last week, and then they turn around and win 2 against Ohio State, lose the Sunday. And then Kansas today was an absolute shootout. 11-13.
That's crazy.
That's an Iowa. That's Iowa football numbers. That's numbers Iowa football would love to see. Ben, what was the final of the Iowa-Nebraska game? 10-13, right?
How dare you make a joke like that, Joseph?
Oh,
that was so
10-13.
good. That was so good. No.
But yeah, there were a combined, let's see here, 26 hits in this one.
That's about
37 at bats for Nebraska. So they went through the entire lineup 4 times if I do my math correctly.
that is so crazy. That is Iowa football numbers.
It is. So this one was fun. There was grand slams. There was, I believe Nebraska was down by 5 runs at one point, maybe 6. And they had only had 6 runs. Then they had a grand slam out of nowhere to bring them up to 10. Fought back. Coach Bolt got ejected in the 7th because he didn't like a strike 3 call. And then Nebraska was only able to get, I believe they had bases loaded in the 9th, was only able to get 1 run. So lost by 2. But I kind of want to get your thoughts on baseball because I think weirdly, college baseball is in such this weird spot, at least here in Nebraska, where by the time it's warm enough and you feel like watching baseball, and by the time winter sports are over, the semester is almost over. So you don't have that, that student hype around it. I don't think enough students know much about this baseball team because by the time,
unless you're just a big baseball nerd,
right? Obviously, but I mean, with basketball this season, a lot of people who don't really care about the basketball team got involved because it was captivating the campus and it was so entertaining and the storylines and everything. This baseball team is very, very good. And they have a potential to potentially host a regional. But a lot of the season is in the colder months. And then by the time we get to here now, it's like, okay, well, the semester's wrapping up and then there's final season and then the students are off campus.
I just think
it's just kind of unfortunate.
I just think baseball games as a student are just not as fun to go to. Am I wrong to think that?
I just think that's probably the culture here on campus. And I'm not really sure why that is.
I'm not saying baseball
Big Ten baseball. Yeah. Big Ten is by no means a baseball conference. But I mean, down in the SEC, even like softball, baseball, a lot of students will go to. Again, it's SEC. It's warm. You're not playing the first 2 months of your season strictly on the road in the southern states. But I just think students as a whole should be paying more attention to this baseball team because I haven't heard a lot of chatter about it. And now that winter sports are over, Final Four is over, championship game's over, we can stop talking about Zach Edey. Finally. And how Nebraska, almost beat the runner-ups to the championship.
Hey, so UConn beat Purdue by 15. Nebraska beat them by 16. I brought it up last show.
Now we can stop talking about that and talk more about baseball. So I just think the student population as a whole should be more in tune with baseball. It's unfortunate that if they do host a regional, there'll be no students here because it will be in the summer. But
I mean, this is just like baseball just kind of they just have bad hand. They just get dealt it's
in the cold months.
And then it's like by the time
it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch baseball in February in Nebraska.
Yeah, and then by the time baseball really gets going, it's like the semester's kind of wrapping up. So no, I get it, but baseball team really good though. Should be
fun to watch.
Should be fun to watch. Should be
put
fun
up 11 runs tonight. Wasn't enough.
No, wasn't enough. But with that, we got to wrap things up here. Thank you for listening into the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Me and Anthony will be right back here tomorrow, same time, 11 to 12. But until then, see ya.
Peace.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
I think about all the infrastructure that got built up behind the scenes by Coach Osborne, that Coach Solich took over, and then some of that infrastructure was eroded. Matt Rule still has to prove this, but I think Matt Rule's style is that yeah, he'd like the infrastructure in place, but I think Matt Rule has the personality to do everything in his power to bend it to the way he wants it.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seating Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.